think a lot of time leadership sees as like a policies and like coming down from a high level and implementing certain rules and stuff like that. So I have an example that I used to work for the San Francisco Food Bank. I'm like the coordinator for all the Chinatown, the immigrants communities and their food distributions, almost 40 of them. And and yes, I have the power to stop their food literally. And when I go investigate what are some of the big issues in those food pantry, so one of the food pantry I went to is a high concentration of Asian Chinese seniors and the African American senior. That was when I first arrived. They told me, okay, Weihaur, we couldn't fix this issue. They have been fighting left and right, and we need somebody to go in. And so I went in. Literally, I walked down. It's just like, oh wow, everyone swam into me and talking to the president. Oh, they complain about this, complain about that. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh my God, I was just like, oh shit, So I was like, okay. Um, then I really see is like a lot of a racial issue between the two uh, community. And I did literally the first thing I do that, okay, I do have to stop this madness. I know I say, okay, I need to stop this food for 2 weeks and let them know that there's consequence of what they're doing to each other. And then as I start investigating, what I really found through my personal conversation with people after people volunteer, I realized that, oh, that is just a lot of cultural misunderstanding, if you don't look from the inside. So basically, the misunderstanding, if you are, many of us, if Asian and Chinese, we know that we can line up in a line like a sardine. And then we add to more of the line. Oh, I'm not just for me. My this card is for my son, and then my daughter, and then my neighbors. They're not even there. They make up their rules, and they're not even there. And then so it makes the African American senior very angry. It's like, wow, I'm not gonna get into that sardine line. They're gonna push me out like nobody, and so all that. So what I do. Oh, I know what to do. I pretend I cannot walk. I have disability. I have doctor notes and blah, blah, blah. I was like, wow. And then they pull the relationship with the center. Oh, we've been here long enough before you guys. So so we have a better say. So that was continuing of that. I was like, oh my God, I realized that one, I have to be smarter than these people. One, they fake all those numbers, that's they fake those numbers, they order that, or they go through their different ways of. So what I see that, okay, I really need to help them to understand that, hey, if you guys don't fight for the food, we actually have enough food for everyone. We calculate by per household how many people, it should be enough. But it's because somebody fight, they get more or get less. That's why we end up in this situation. So what the end of the day is that I actually not just have to reappropriate the way they line up, they understand the culture, but they also understand that if you don't fight, you actually have the same benefit. But if you fight, you got no benefit. And then I retrain them. I say that, hey, cultural differences are day to day. When Asian, they see you, then they don't have the language, they nod their head, they look down, and doesn't mean that they look down on you, they respectful. And that's why they do that. All right. And then I talk to the Asian, I say, well, our African American friend, they're not rowdy, they're not rude, they are happy. They are always doing this, they're always loud. They like you. That's how they express themselves. So it's a whole two different culture expressing themselves. So you got to allow them to have their space. They got to allow you to have your politeness, and so you guys can work together, right? So at the end, I retrain. I have half the volunteer Chinese, half African American. I make up I clear all their cheating. I say every week is going to be different color. You don't have to make up your own. And then everyone need to follow the rule. This is America, not like your wherever rule from wherever country, you know. So if your son is not here, he don't need the food. Oh, I know why. You always grab too much, you know, you always wondering for everybody. It's like, no, 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 no. Some of them don't even want these canned goods, you know, I know. All right. So you can only take it for yourself, you know. So leave it for other people. So what I'm saying that by the end of the whole process, I don't just put back the policies, but I actually put back the humanity. I put back the love and the connection of the people so that they can work together and understanding. So I realized that, oh, rules is one way, but without the human connection and love, rule doesn't work. You can have all your rules all you want. And so that's one of my learning experience of being in America, helping the intercultural relationships.